Coming up tonight on YCN News, funding is cut for a Vermont organization. The car is totaled after being struck by a train, and a runaway tire leads to multiple accidents. For more news, weather, and sports, it's time for YCN, your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region, southern Vermont, and Windsor County. News, sports, weather, and all that is happening in our area. The news on YCN, your local view.
Good evening and welcome to the Monday edition of YCN News. I'm Laura James. A Southeastern Vermont nonprofit will receive half its usual award from a federal department. Yet another grant may offset this loss, allowing its community work to continue. Southeastern Vermont Community Action Executive Director Steve Geller tells the Brattleboro Reformer the U.S. Department of Agriculture awarded the Westminster-based program $50,000 each year for the next 4 years. Now, that grant will be $25,000, and even so, Geller says he appreciates any grant funding the 40-year-old organization receives. SEVCA works with people struggling to get out of economic hardship. What may help SEVCA continue its outreach is a grant over 3 years from the Fannie Holt Ames and Edna Louise Holt Fund. The Holt sisters lived in Grafton, Vermont. Over 3 years, SEVCA will receive $93,000 to help run its programs, which include home weatherization to lower residential utility bills. Meanwhile, the $25,000 that SEVCA will receive from the USDA is from a total of $250,000 recently earmarked for 4 different Vermont programs. 2 of these programs are geared to improve housing conditions in the state's most rural area, the Northeast Kingdom. An award being given out tomorrow in Burlington, Vermont is of statewide importance. That's when Vermont's Teacher of the Year, Rebecca Haslam, will officially be recognized. Haslam will be honored in a ceremony at the Champlain Elementary School. She's a first-grade teacher. Governor Peter Shumlin and Burlington Mayor Mira Weinberger and the State Board of Education will host tomorrow's program. Well, keep in mind how winter snow and ice affect train tracks condition. One motorist Saturday night learned that around 7 p.m. on North Windsor Street in South Royalton, Vermont, 27-year-old Alyssa Ashline of Randolph, Vermont, went into her car and drove away from North Windsor Street at her home. Skies were clear, temperatures cold, and there was ice on the roads. The car just could not get over the tracks on an ungated railroad crossing. An Amtrak train with 71 passengers on board was heading north, and the train struck the car at about 59 miles per hour speed force. The force of the collision tore the front of the car and spun the car counterclockwise. That same force pushed the car 20 feet down the train track. Now, fortunately, the car's 2 occupants, driver Ashline and passenger Derek Noble of Royalton, were uninjured. Neither the train nor any of its riders were injured, say police. After a brief delay, the train continued north. State police say drivers need to be aware of dangerous ungated railroad crossings. Drivers should stop, listen, and look in both directions before proceeding. When YCN News returns, we'll learn about more car accidents.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Laura James. One car's loss of a tire led to damage to 3 other vehicles Saturday night on I-91 North near Norwich, Vermont. Shortly after 8 p.m., a 2000 GMC K3500 truck driven by 60-year-old Robert Miles of Lebanon, Connecticut, lost its driver's side rear tires. 3 vehicles driving nearby were hit by the lost tires, police say. When the police arrived on the scene, the 3 cars were pulled to the side of the road. All vehicles were towed from the scene. No one was injured. When YCN News returns, we'll join Kearsarge Chronicles' Lynn Solomon, who spoke with Caitlin Glidewell, Miss Lake Sunapee Region Outstanding Teen.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Laura James. Let's find out more about that start of the week forecast and a look at sports too.
Tonight we'll have partly cloudy skies with lows around 25 degrees. Tuesday we may have a 30% chance of rain showers after 5 p.m. with a high near 35. Tuesday night, rain and sleet is likely with a low around 32. Wednesday may bring a 40% chance of rain with a high near 40. And Wednesday night there may be a chance of rain and snow showers before 9 p.m. Lows will be around 27 degrees. On our YCN community calendar, we have some upcoming meetings and events. Tomorrow, Brattleboro is holding its select board meeting at 6 p.m. Wednesday in Norwich, check out the school holiday concert at 6:30 p.m. at the Marion Cross Elementary School. Also on Wednesday, the Danbury Select Board will hold a select board meeting from 6 to 7 p.m. Remember, you can submit local events from your community by sending them to news@ycnnow.com. And now let's take a look at local high school sports. Kearsarge took on Stevens High School over the weekend. Here are some highlights from that game. In the second game of the doubleheader, senior Chase Hussey nails the three-point shot early in the game. Kearsarge answered back with James Bromwell getting 2 of his team-leading 13 points on this drive. Kearsarge's big men made their presence felt. Here, Zach Matos blocks the shot attempt. A short time later, this block by Matos leads to a transition putback basket by Zach's younger brother Taylor, which put Kearsarge up 55-50 with just over 3 minutes left in the game. With under 30 seconds left in the game, Parker Smith hits this turnaround jumper to tie the game with 56 apiece. And then as Kearsarge tries to take back the lead, Trent Nordsey gets called for a charging foul with 15.8 seconds left in the game, much to the dismay of the Cougar fans. With less than 15 seconds in the game, Chase Hussey drives to the hoop and scores to give Stevens the lead. After a timeout, Kearsarge's Trent Nordsey gets fouled while driving to the hoop after missing the first foul shot. Parker Smith is able to gobble up the rebound on the second foul shot and go to the line with half of a second left in the game. On the missed foul shot, the buzzer goes off and Stevens celebrates an exciting 59-56 victory over Kearsarge. Kearsarge will look to rebound on the road in Jaffrey vs. Conant in their opening game of the season. Stevens is now 1-0 and will host the 0-1 Hopkinton Hawks on Friday in Claremont. Tune in tomorrow where we'll look at the girls' Kearsarge vs. Stevens basketball game. And now, turning to Manchester Monarchs news, last Friday's game was a victory. The Monarchs won 3-1 against the Portland Pirates. Manchester's Josh Gratton was a valuable player in the game. He scored his first goal of the season. Nick Shore and Zach O'Brien scored the other goals of the night. Tune in to YCN Sports tomorrow to find out the results of Saturday's game against the Worcester Sharks.
The YCN News continues in a moment.